Dear students, we are in session number 16 of unit 2nd of the paper Economics of Infrastructure, which will be an elective paper for 3rd semester BA Economics. The topic for the today's session is financing infrastructure. The learning objectives of this session is to acquaint the students with the knowledge of financing infrastructure in India. By the end of this session, the students will be able to understand the sources of finance for infrastructure development. At the outset, we have to understand the very meaning of financing infrastructure. Empirical data clearly shows that, given a choice, investors prefer to invest their money in countries whose infrastructure is more developed. Hence, it can be said that rapid infrastructure development is one of the most basic ways in which a country can take advantage of economic opportunities. It is therefore no surprise that countries around the world focus heavily on building infrastructure. Since infrastructure is such a high priority issue in the world, the financing of infrastructure projects is also considered to be very important. As a result, an entire subject called infrastructure financing has been developed. We will study infrastructure financing in greater detail in this module. However, before that, we need to understand what infrastructure definition really is. The formal definitions of infrastructure financing are not very clear. Generally, in most countries around the world, the government issues a list of industries that are to be given infrastructure status. The financing of projects or companies involved in these sectors is called infrastructure financing. Infrastructure financing refers to the companies or the industries which are involved in financing or projecting the development of infrastructures are known as infrastructure financing. Therefore, the government issues a list of industries that are to be given infrastructure status. Financing infrastructure refers to ಅಂದರೆ ಮೂಲಭೂತ ಸೌಕರ್ಯಗಳಿಗೆ ಹಣಕಾಸನ್ನು ಒದಗಿಸುವಿಕೆ. ಹಾಗಂದರೆ ಪ್ರಪಂಚದ ಎಲ್ಲ ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಮೂಲಭೂತ ಸೌಕರ್ಯಗಳಿಗೆ ಅತಿ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಪ್ರಾಮುಖ್ಯತೆಯನ್ನು ನೀಡಲಾಗಿದೆ. ಮೂಲಭೂತ ಸೌಕರ್ಯಗಳು ಆರ್ಥಿಕ ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿಯ ಮೂಲಾಧಾರಗಳು ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಪರಿಗಣಿಸಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ದೇಶ ಮತ್ತು ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಮೂಲಭೂತ ಸೌಕರ್ಯಗಳ ನಿರ್ಮಾಣಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಹಣಕಾಸನ್ನು ಒದಗಿಸ್ತಾ ಬಂದಿದೆ. ಹಾಗಿದ್ರೆ ಮೂಲಭೂತ ಸೌಕರ್ಯಗಳಿಗೆ ಹಣಕಾಸು ಒದಗಿಸುವುದು ಅಂದರೆ ಒಂದು ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ ಮೂಲಭೂತ ಸೌಕರ್ಯಗಳನ್ನು ನಿರ್ಮಾಣ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಹಣವನ್ನು ಒದಗಿಸಲಾಗುವಂತಹ ಕೈಗಾರಿಕೆಗಳು ಅಥವಾ ಪರಿಯೋಜನೆಗಳಿಗೆ ನಾವು ಮೂಲಭೂತ ಸೌಕರ್ಯಗಳ ಹಣಕಾಸು ಒದಗಿಸುವಿಕೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಕರಿತೇವೆ. However, there are certain shared characteristics amongst industries that are classified as infrastructure all over the world. Some of these characteristics have been mentioned below. Firstly, Industries which are given infrastructure status are considered to be central to the economy. This means that these industries provide the impetus for the rapid growth and development of other industries as well. For example, industries such as roadways and railways enable faster movements of goods and services throughout the country. This helps the manufacturers in the countries become more competitive as compared to other countries. The final result is an increase in exports. Other important sectors such as telecommunications and electricity are also considered to be central to the economy and hence have been provided infrastructure finance all over the world. Second one, since these industries are considered to be of strategic importance, too many private sector players are not allowed to operate in them. This creates a monopolistic market with very few players. As a result, investors are generally very keen on investing in infrastructure opportunities. However, it also needs to be understood that since these markets can be considered to be monopolistic, they are also highly regulated. Since there is only a handful of suppliers, the government fixes the prices that can be charged. Lastly, infrastructure assets are characterized by low risk and stable cash flows. These projects are generally built in areas where there is high demand. As a result, either the consumers or the government are willing to pay a relatively stable cash flow for a long period of time. There are three characteristics of infrastructure financing. First one, these are central to the economy which provides the impetus for economic development. Second one, no private sector player is allowed in the operation of infrastructure financing. Last but not the least, infrastructure assets are characterized by low risk and stable cash flows. ಮೂಲಭೂತ ಸೌಕರ್ಯಗಳಿಗೆ ಹಣಕಾಸನ್ನು ಒದಗಿಸುವಂತಹ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ ಮುಖ್ಯವಾಗಿ 3 ಲಕ್ಷಣಗಳು ಕಂಡುಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಮೊದಲನೇದಾಗಿ, ಮೂಲಭೂತ ಸೌಕರ್ಯಗಳ ಹಣಕಾಸು ಆರ್ಥಿಕ ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿಯ ಕೇಂದ್ರ ಬಿಂದುವಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಎರಡನೇದಾಗಿ, ಮೂಲಭೂತ ಸೌಕರ್ಯಗಳ ಹಣಕಾಸಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಖಾಸಗಿ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರದ ಹೂಡಿಕೆದಾರರಿಗೆ ಅವಕಾಶವನ್ನು ಕೊಡಲಾಗುವುದಿಲ್ಲ. ಮೂರನೇದಾಗಿ, ಇವುಗಳು ಅತಿ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಅಪಾಯವನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿರುವ ಹಾಗೂ ಸುಸ್ಥಿರ ಹಣಕಾಸಿನ ಪ್ರವಹನವನ್ನು ಉತ್ತೇಜಿಸುವಂತಹ ಸರಣಿ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. The bottom line is that defining features of infrastructure financing is the sectors to which money is being lent. The different types of loans such as overdraft, term loan, working capital loan, etc. are generally included in the definition of infrastructure financing. Then we shall move on to the types of infrastructure financing. Infrastructure financing has various subdivisions. These divisions are generally based on the type of industry that the funds will actually be utilized in. The different types of infrastructure financing has been listed below: economic, social and commercial. ಮೂಲಭೂತ ಸೌಕರ್ಯಗಳಿಗೆ ಹಣಕಾಸನ್ನು ಒದಗಿಸುವಂತಹ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆಯನ್ನು 3 ಪ್ರಕಾರಗಳಾಗಿ ವಿಂಗಡಿಸ್ತೇವೆ: ಆರ್ಥಿಕ, ಸಾಮಾಜಿಕ ಮತ್ತು ವಾಣಿಜ್ಯ. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಒನ್, ಇಕನಾಮಿಕ್ ಇನ್ಫ್ರಾಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್. Infrastructure financing can be for purely economic reasons. For instance, when a new port is built in a country, It enables more foreign trade. These projects are generally funded using a public-private partnership PPP. This is because these projects have net positive value. Hence, the value created can be shared between the government and private parties. Economic infrastructure projects provide benefits to the larger economy of a region instead of providing benefits only to specific industries or people. ಆರ್ಥಿಕ ಮೂಲಸೌಕರ್ಯ. ಆರ್ಥಿಕ ಮೂಲಸೌಕರ್ಯವನ್ನು ಆರ್ಥಿಕ ಉದ್ದೇಶಗಳಿಗಾಗಿ ಮಾತ್ರ ರಚನೆ ಮಾಡಲಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಉದಾಹರಣೆಗೆ, ಒಂದು ಹೊಸ ಬಂದರನ್ನು ಸ್ಥಾಪಿಸಿದೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಅದು ಆ ದೇಶದ ವಿದೇಶಿ ವ್ಯಾಪಾರವನ್ನು ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಮಾಡುವ ಉದ್ದೇಶವನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಇಂತಹ ಆರ್ಥಿಕ ಮೂಲಸೌಕರ್ಯ ನಿರ್ಮಾಣದ ಜವಾಬ್ದಾರಿ ಸಾರ್ವಜನಿಕ ಮತ್ತು ಖಾಸಗಿ ಸಹಭಾಗಿತ್ವದಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಇದನ್ನು PPP ಪಬ್ಲಿಕ್ ಪ್ರೈವೇಟ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ನರ್ಶಿಪ್ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ. ಕಾರಣ ಏನು ಅಂದರೆ, ಇಂತಹ ಪರಿಯೋಜನೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ನಿವ್ವಳ ಧನಾತ್ಮಕ ಮೌಲ್ಯ ಸೃಷ್ಟಿಯನ್ನು ಕಾಣ್ತೇವೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಹೀಗೆ ರಚನೆಯಾದಂತಹ ನಿವ್ವಳ ಧನಾತ್ಮಕ ಮೌಲ್ಯ ಸೃಷ್ಟಿ ಖಾಸಗಿ ಮತ್ತು ಸಾರ್ವಜನಿಕ ವಲಯಗಳ ನಡುವೆ ಹಂಚಿಕೆಯಾಗತ್ತೆ. ಹೀಗೆ ಆರ್ಥಿಕ ಮೂಲಸೌಕರ್ಯಗಳು ಇಡೀ ಆರ್ಥಿಕತೆಗೆ ಹೊಂದಿಕೊಂಡಂತೆ ಅನೇಕ ಲಾಭಗಳನ್ನು ಸೃಷ್ಟಿ ಮಾಡೋದ್ರಿಂದಾಗಿ ಇವುಗಳಿಗೆ ಅತಿ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಪ್ರಾಮುಖ್ಯತೆಯನ್ನು ನೀಡಲಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಒನ್, ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್ ಇನ್ಫ್ರಾಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್. Infrastructure funding is also given to many institutions for a social cause. For instance, several projects are undertaken to provide clean water to the people. Similarly, projects are undertaken to provide healthcare and education services to the people of a region. These projects are different because they have to be undertaken regardless of the fact that they might have a negative net present value. Hence, under other modes of financing, these projects would be left out. However, when it comes to infrastructure financing, the government does spend funds on these projects even though there may not be any immediate returns. Since these projects may have a negative net present value, they are undertaken mostly by the government. Social infrastructure includes education, potable water, healthcare facilities, which increase social status of the community. These projects are necessarily undertaken by the government because these projects have a negative net present value. For example, supply of cleanly water to the community, supply of education services to the particular region, and healthcare services to a particular country. These are created for social causes of the community. Commercial infrastructure. Commercial projects are just like economic projects, except these projects provide benefits to a set of people that can be directly identified. For example, toll roads and metro rail projects are considered to be commercial infrastructure projects. They are funded by charging the people who utilize the services. Just like economic projects, commercial projects or infrastructure are the set of basic infrastructural facilities which will benefit a particular group or a particular part of the community. These are the projects which are available to a group of the community who pays for it. Who utilize, they have to pay for the services. For example, toll roads and metro rails are the major example of commercial projects. Thus, the bottom line is that infrastructure financing is a vast field that encompasses many industries. Also, the funding models used here are slightly different since projects with the negative net present value are also undertaken many times. Financing is how you pay upfront for the infrastructure. In this context, it refers to how governments or private companies that own infrastructure find the money to meet the upfront cost of building it. Sources of infrastructure finance. We can broadly classify the sources of infrastructure finance into two: internal or domestic sources, external or foreign sources. First one, internal or domestic sources. Internal and or domestic sources can be classified as equity funds and debt funds. First one, equity funds. Equity funds refers to domestic investors independently or in collaboration with international investors. They may be public utilities or dedicated government funds or other institutional investors. Second one, debt funds. These are domestic commercial banks, domestic term lending institutions from 7 to 10 year tenure, domestic bond markets 7 to 10 year tenure, and specialized infrastructure financing institutions such as infrastructure debt funds. Therefore, equity funds and debt funds come under the category of internal or domestic sources which are available for financing infrastructure in a particular country. We shall move on to external or foreign sources. External or foreign sources can be classified as equity funds and debt funds. First one, equity funds. Equity funds in external or foreign sources include foreign investors, independently or in collaboration with domestic investors. Second one, equipment suppliers in collaboration with domestic or international developers, dedicated infrastructure funds, other international equity investors, and multilateral agencies like MNC. Second one, debt funds, which includes international commercial banks of 7 to 10 year tenure, export credit agencies 7 to 10 year tenure, international bond markets 10 to 30 year tenure, and multilateral agencies like MNCs over 20 year tenure. These are the external foreign sources. Other sources include infrastructure bonds. These are the bonds which provide investors some provisions to save tax. These are termed as tax saving bonds and are widely used by individual investors as a tax saving tool. Some examples are infrastructure bonds under Section 80C of the Income Tax Act 1961 and capital gains bonds under Section 54EC of the Income Tax Act 1961. ಅಂದರೆ ಮೂಲಭೂತ ಸೌಕರ್ಯಗಳ ಹಣಕಾಸು ಒದಗಿಸುವಿಕೆಯನ್ನು 2 ಪ್ರಕಾರಗಳಾಗಿ ವಿಂಗಡಿಸಿದ್ವಿ, ಆಂತರಿಕ ಮೂಲ ಮತ್ತು ಬಾಹ್ಯರಿಕ ಮೂಲ. ಆಂತರಿಕ ಮೂಲದಲ್ಲಿ ಈಕ್ವಿಟಿ ಫಂಡ್ ಮತ್ತು ಡೆಟ್ ಫಂಡ್ ಅಂತ ಇದೆ. ಬಾಹ್ಯರಿಕ ಮೂಲದಲ್ಲಿಯೂ ಸಹ ಈಕ್ವಿಟಿ ಫಂಡ್ ಮತ್ತು ಡೆಟ್ ಫಂಡ್ ಅಂತಿದೆ. ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಅಲ್ಲದೆ ಇತರ ಮೂಲಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಮೂಲಭೂತ ಸೌಕರ್ಯಗಳ ಬಾಂಡುಗಳನ್ನು ಕಾಣ್ತೇವೆ. ಈ ಬಾಂಡುಗಳ ಮುಖಾಂತರವೂ ಸಹ ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಒಂದು ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ ಮೂಲಭೂತ ಸೌಕರ್ಯಗಳನ್ನು ಸೃಷ್ಟಿ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ಹಣಕಾಸನ್ನು ಸಂಗ್ರಹಿಸಬಹುದು. So, in this session, we discussed some topics related to financing infrastructure, meaning, types and sources of financing infrastructure. Thank you for patient hearing.